our true heroes. So the Seattle Seahawks tight end Jacob Hollister caught 2 touchdown passes in the team's overtime win over the Bucs on Sunday. Pete Carroll asked about Hollister, who had previously played for the New England Patriots. Take a listen at what Carroll had to say about players who come to Seattle from New England.
What have you noticed about the guys that you've had that you brought in here who have spent time in the Patriots system, like Hollister?
That they're happy to be here.
All smiles, Mr. Smith. Did Pete Carroll's comments say more about the Pats or Carroll himself?
Said more about Pete Carroll himself, not recognizing who the hell he is and where he is in the stepping order. The fact of the matter is, you're a Super Bowl champion, you're a great coach, there's no doubt about that, but you ain't no Bill Belichick. And when you sit up there and you talk about how people are happy to be here, all right, or you imply that people are happier to be there in Seattle with you, okay, than they are to be in New England, well, why don't you have more Super Bowl championships to show for it? That's really what it comes down to when you act like that. Because guess what? People want to come play for you. Matter of fact, I don't know if everybody does want to come play for you to the level that they used to anyway. I recall you costing the Seattle Seahawks a Super Bowl title because Marshawn Lynch, beast mode, is running roughshod over everybody, gets you down to the half-yard line, and with a Super Bowl championship on the line, instead of giving the ball the beast mode to run it in, you decide to throw a pass damn near over the middle because you wanted Russell Wilson to be the hero. He gets intercepted. Malcolm Butler becomes the star. The Patriots win the championship. Tom Brady is jumping on the sideline like a kid in a candy store. And the Legion of Boom, all of them want to get the hell away from you because you sat up there and made that call. The franchise has never, ever been the same since that day. Now, Pete Carroll's a hell of a coach, and he's actually a good man. But here's the reality of the situation. Got to know your place. When you sit up there and laughing, you don't get to allude to and imply anything about somebody as great as as Bill Belichick, when you have a resume that clearly does not measure up to his. Know your place. And that's my message to Pete Carroll.
Well, look, Bill Belichick's in a class by himself. That includes with Vince Lombardi or anyone. Bill Belichick's the greatest football coach of all time. Any level, he's number one because in a league that encourages parity for 20 years now, they could win the Super Bowl in any given year. And they are aided absolutely by the fact that they play in a pathetic division. Throughout his entire tenure, it's been pathetic in the AFC East. When you look at the list of quarterbacks that Brady's played against, it's ridiculous. Nevertheless, this can't happen. This doesn't happen, what Belichick's done. He's in a class by himself. You talk about the rest of the coaches. Pete Carroll is somewhere in the group, probably not number one, with Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh. Even though Andy Reid hasn't won a Super Bowl, I think it's safe to say that he is an elite coach. Sean Payton and those guys, right? He can talk about, he's entitled to think that his way works better than most. But clearly, it's an inferior method to Bill Belichick. However Bill Belichick does it is better. Now, what's the difference, really? Pete Carroll is known as a player's coach. He is a guy that you want to play for, right?
Thank you.
Bill Belichick is a guy who doesn't really care about how you feel about it. He wants you to do your job, even though I hear that he's a much more of a player's coach than people realize. Like, you can do your thing as long as you're on time, you produce, etc. And he ain't going to pay you, by the way. But he's also the GM. But
Earl Thomas would tell you Pete Carroll ain't going to pay you either.
Pete Carroll is a guy who's basically saying in this clip, I'm a player's coach. People like to play for me. And that's all well and good, except that the results, as good as they are with Pete Carroll, are simply not Belichick.
Okay, all right. So, but we're not having a conversation about who's the better coach. Pete Carroll was implying that it's more fun to play in Seattle than it is in New England.
I agree.
And I hear you guys, and I understand where you're coming from. But it's true. What Pete Carroll said is true. We ain't making more of it. Players are happier playing in places like Seattle.
But isn't winning more fun?
Yes, winning is fun.
Winning
but
rings?
I'm telling you,
they win in Seattle.
How you win too is fun, right? Like there is a. But Molly, we're having two different conversations.
Okay.
All right? Stop throwing Belichick resume out there, please, when the man say it's more fun to play in Seattle. It is. Players have a better time. They enjoy playing in Seattle more than they do in New England. I'm not saying that players hate New England. I'm not saying that. But there is a regimented part of New England that some players don't like.
But what people
and
are
guys that I
objecting
know,
to, Marcus, what we're saying is when you're a little dismissive or it seems a little contemptuous or you're making fun of the way another guy does it, but his results are demonstrably better, it can rub people the wrong way.
But he's not making fun of it. He is simply saying it's more fun to play in this organization because I'm the coach than it is in New England.
Doesn't it suggest that you shouldn't
simple.
be having as much fun then? Maybe they should have a little less fun.
Why wouldn't they have much fun? Listen, bro, we just finished having a conversation that New England is doing something that only happens every 100 years.
Yeah.
Like, we need to stop comparing other places to the Patriots. We need to not compare other places to Alabama. We don't, like, we are fortunate enough to live in a generation in football where arguably we see the best college football coach to ever coach and the best NFL coach. Let's not live in this world where we're going to see other teams rip off 9 Super Bowls.
But hold on. Let's think about something here. I agree with you if you're comparing Landry to Chuck Noll. I agree with you if more the modern day era, you're comparing Saban to Dabo. Because obviously over the last 4 years, their success has been pretty equal. All 4 trips to the college football playoffs, 2 national championships between them. I get that. But when there is a clear distinction between, with people in the same profession, between one man and everybody else, you do find yourself, at least as a layman or a novice, sitting back and saying, damn, can't y'all figure out how to emulate some of that success? Because what I'm saying to you is this. When I sit up here and I think about any job, not just my job, but any job, what I'm going to pay attention to is what's working. It's not just about having a good time. Because I don't have a good time losing. I'm telling you that right now. Yeah. I don't have a good time losing. I'm not a fun person to be around when I'm losing. I'm a George Steinbrenner.
Is that why you're so cranky on this show all the time?
Well, I'm very happy on this show because we win. Pay attention.
Well, we do.
The point that I'm trying to make to you is that at the end of the day, all I'm saying is that you look at it and you compare the stuff. You look at Pete Carroll, you got 1 Super Bowl. Yeah, granted, it's more fun to play for you. But is it more beneficial?
Maybe not.
Okay.
But Stephen A., listen, that ain't the conversation we having. Like, I can't come onto this show and say, I'm not gonna say it's not fun to be around Marcus because he's not Stephen A. or because he's not Max Kellerman or Molly. I'm not gonna say because I'm on another show that's successful that it's not fun to be here because First Take is more successful. Like that's my thing. Like we looking at
they're not bums. They're not bums.
They're not bums.
They're winning games.
But
they're winning.
It's a philosophical question in life, really. That are you the type of person that's results oriented to the point that the process and enjoying your life, right? Enjoying the process is not the most important thing. I would say this about Pete Carroll. Or Mike Tomlin, by the way, who also looks like a coach I'd want to play for if I was a player, someone like that. To me, if you're having a lot of success, it's not like they're losing all the time. They're constantly winning. And you can have a good time while you're doing it. To a lot of people, Stephen A., that's more important than being even more successful.
See, I'm a little sensitive to that.
I'm one of those people. But what I think the key point is, again, when you're not winning, like, for example, you have some people, there's a lot of people that sit up there and say, well, you know what, it's more fun to play, not that I can't
would agree with you if Freddie Kitchens or Adam Gase said that.
What I'm saying is, Pete Carroll, I get your point, but what I'm saying is that, again, if he got 9 titles and he's miserable, but I got 5 and I'm happy, I'd rather have 5 titles playing for the Lakers than I might have playing for the Utah Jazz.
Right.
Even though Utah's a beautiful city.
And Utah's
I get what you're saying. But if somebody got 9 and I don't have any, well, I got 1, it's like, wait a minute. There's an elevated level of misery that I've been enduring.
I just didn't take it as disrespect. I took it as, look, the way Bill Belichick has his way is successful.
Yeah.
This is generational. But players have more
Pete
fun
Carroll's-
playing.
Pete
It's
Carroll's
a more-
coach.
it's
He's
more
known
of a
as a
good
player's
time
coach.
Pete Carroll's
to
teams
play
are in the
there.
playoffs basically every season. They've won a Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
like
They
I'm
make
not-
Super Bowl runs.
Yeah. I mean,
The
listen, it
Ravens
wasn't always
run over
fun
the
playing
Pats,
for Nick
but as
Saban.
Baltimore jump the
No.
champs on the list of the best teams in football, Steven
Uh-oh.
Ellis coming
Hey,
up
wait.
next.
Uh-oh.
You know what time it is?
This interesting.
Coming up tomorrow on First Take is the best team in the NBA wearing purple and gold after all. Plus, Paul Feinbaum will